Assert and affirm. I am the immortal self. I am not this perishable body. I am the non-dual absolute. I am the embodiment of infinity. I am beyond all sorrow and pain. I am beyond this world mundane. I am the light of light. I am the beauty behind all heavenly sights. I am the breeze of bliss, fulfilling the cherished wishes of every heart. I am the effulgent self-divine. I am glorious Brahman sublime. Aham Brahmasmi. Om Nilambuja Shyamal Komalangam Sita Samaropita Vamabhagam Panau Maha Sayagacharu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. Adorations to Lord Rama, whose complexion like a blue lotus, who is very tender and delightful in appearance. Sita is seated on his left side. He is carrying a powerful bow and arrow in his hands. Shri Ramcharitmanas by Sant Goswami Tulsidas in Ayodhya Kanda, and verse number is 155. The context of the topic is King Dasharatha has just departed. Just to give you the word Manas. Manas means Manasarovar, lake. Every individual is a crow. When a crow enters the lake, it becomes a swan. Crow means a mind that is constantly crowing on the basis of ego's demands. And swan means your ego is effaced and the real I am signs. Saha aham, aham sa, hamsa. Aham, the I in you, that becomes Brahman. You realize that. So first starts as a crow, but get interested in sipping this Manasarovar lake. Tulsi Ramayana presents that lake. And as you go on sipping, the crow aspect will move away. Instead of crowing after little things and all ugly things and mortal things, become swan and soar. Soar through 7 steps to enlightenment. So that's the whole philosophy is there in the word Ramcharitmanas. Ram Ram Kahi Ram Kahi, Ram Ram Kahi Ram, Tanu Parihari Raghubara Viraha, Rau Gayev Suradham. King Dasharatha, who presents the ideals to be followed by every soul. That is to live with increasing love for Rama. And you depart with mind focused on that goal. Nothing else should be there dear to your mind. Rama is the only dearest one. With that vision, King Dasharatha dies. There are two. Jiyan marana phalu Dasharathu pava, and aneka amal jasu chava. King Dasharatha attained the fulfillment of the purpose of life and death. Jiyan maran phalu Dasharatha pava. If life brings out in your personality love for God, Godward movement becomes highlighted in your personality. Then your life is bringing you joy to you, real safal life, not fruitless life. You have lots of fruits, but they are not digestible. Fruits of pravritti, karma-based fruits. They have a poison mix. They are mixed with mortality. And so the real fruit that you work for in your life, you really can be internally feeling well fulfilled. I have attained something substantial. That is not on the basis of all the worldly gains you have made, but on the basis of how you have come closer to God. Digest in your personality 3 points. Sahaj, Saras, Sanidhya. Purpose of sadhana is to allow your movement come out of burden of a stressful mind. Every movement creates a stress in the mind. And you build up your muscles for dealing with that stress. That building up of your muscle and curing this stress, that's not sahaj, that's not spontaneous, that is not really soft. Your movement should be like the movement of the trees. How many great works go on in the trees, but trees don't shout, they don't want to be recognized, they don't want to be praised. It goes on sahaj. So while you face your challenges, you should not be in a state of suspense or boredom. How long have to wait to get to Kundalini awakening? It should be immediate fulfillment. The moment you start taking a nourishing sattvic food, the moment it touches your tongue, it begins to give you delight. So that type of life, King Dasharatha's personality, that successful life that's attaining purpose, and if you are advanced, you attain enlightenment within your lifetime. The question of maran doesn't arise. Mortality you win while still you are in your body. But if you don't attain enlightenment, then Your death should not be purposeless. Maran phal. Your death should bring you now to next stage. Whatever you have gained in this life, now you continue on that basis, go further. Then you have attained your death has been successful death. Otherwise, it's just repeating birth and death. And anek amal jasu phava, chava. Two ways to understand. If you progress on the spiritual path, the world you are experiencing, you are three lokas you are experiencing. The physical world, the world of your sentiments, the world of your understanding. All these three go into many other variations. The Godward movement begins to change all your three worlds. How you view them begins to change. All these three worlds are permeated by God and His glory. So, and anek, all these worlds are countless world systems, as it were. The whole universe called Brahman, it's a big egg. And that Brahmanda contains many eggs. And anek. So, or anek and in you. So many eggs, it would be exact. All those eggs, all these worlds that you experience, they are all touched by your Godward movement. And another way to understand, if you are advancing on the spiritual path, you are impacting upon the world. There are countless people in different levels of evolution. They are all touched in different ways. So if a flower blossoms, its fragrance touches many things of this forest. So if you are really interested in doing good to the world, start doing good to yourself. In fact, both are interrelated. Doesn't mean that we ignore the world and start doing good to yourself. Unless you start doing good to the world and being good, your good movement will not be fulfilled. It's both ways. So that's the ideal presented by Vedic culture. That the last thought should be thought of God, nothing else. Then you have learned the lessons in life. So many things you went after. So many things you attained. But when you are passing out from the body, none of those things you can carry. All is left out. So you have to understand, allow your mind to handle that point. If your happiness is dependent always on securing the external, and you have not learned any other lesson, imagine what type of frustration you are facing. Because nothing can you carry. So this point is brought out through episode, the story of King Dasharatha. In Ramayana, soul movement is in two stages. Dasharatha movement is the early stage, preparatory stage. Rama movement is its final stage. So start becoming Dasharatha first. You are always a Ratha, a chariot. Thus is your 5 senses and 5 organs of action. Ram birah kari maran samara. Jiyat Ram vidu badan nihara. Ram birah karu maran samara. While alive, he drew nourishment from the moon-like face of Rama. That moon of Rama's face. That's bhakti bhavana. Bhavana that turns towards God. God is the moon. Your bhavana is the lily. And that was the way King Dasharatha lived his life and departed with the experience of separation from Rama. Separation term vira has to be understood. It's not pathetic state. If you suffer from dull digestion, and one day there develops Jatragni, you feel hungry, and a mouse begins to jump into your stomach. Don't interpret it as a negative development. Hungry, now you are eager. Feel separation from the nice food. That feeling of separation is a healthy development. If you are fulfilled by all the objects that you gain, day passes by and you wonder how much money you have gained, how many people have admired you, and how many good things you have happened in your relatives. If that's all that engrosses your mind, you have not, from a spiritual point of view, you have dull digestion. But when you begin to put things in their order, all things are okay, as long as you are not trapped by them. All things that you gain behind that is God's hand. Every success will turn your mind to Godward movement. Every tender experience, cozy experience should turn your mind. Every form of aram should turn your mind to Ram. If that movement starts, you are enriching yourself. And your stomach becomes, I'm talking in a humorous way, you become more and more hungry for enjoying spiritual communion, for moving nearer and nearer to God. Reminding again, Sahaj Saras Sanidhya, facing challenges with spontaneity, that one stage. While facing it, develop love for Rama, that mystic thirst for enjoying the nectar of Rama's love, with the goal of being united with Rama. Now, Ramayana brings in its storyline the grief that is experienced by all the queens, all the people of Ayodhya because of the departure of King Dasharatha. That gives you subtle echo of the misery that abides in the world process. शोक विकल सब रोम की रानी, रूपशील बल तेज बखानी. All the queens, they are weeping, grief-stricken. And while they are weeping, they are constantly turning to the kings, how he looked, how righteous he was, how strong he was. They are describing the power, the glory, and the majesty of the king. And that spices up the weeping process. This also has your message that if you don't develop that vira, now you will experience grief in brief, which has no real basis. Ashotyanan ashochastvam. When you grieve, of course it is normal, but philosophically understanding, your grief does not do anything practical. It is by understanding that every happening has a purpose and nothing is really to be grieved at. When a person dies, there is a lot of grief. But for whom are you grieving? For the soul? Soul has become free from so much turmoil of this worldly life. It is soaring in a karmic way, led by God. Profound insight goes on developing. Your mind does not go on entertaining grief. Grief will come, but it will not get sunk and afflicted by grief. It will allow grief to become a form of austerity. More grief, more turning to God. बिलपहि विकल दास रुदासी घर घर रुदन करहि पुरवासी. Servants, maid servants, male servants, all of them are grieving. Citizens of Ayodhya, in every home there is grief. Using this occasion, what you are bringing out, this is the condition of sorrow all over the world. And that sorrow is the target for all spiritual teachings. So the sorrow is being brought out in various ways. गारी सकल कै कहीं देही नयन विहीन किन्ह जग जेही. Kaikei movement is vichar movement leading to nirodha. Nirodha means shutting out the entry into the cycle of birth and death. And without Kaikei, Rama wouldn't have gone to the forest. Bharata would not have faced challenges. Bharata is bhakti. Bhakti potential doesn't suddenly shine as complete bhakti, fullness. It has to go through its challenges. Nirodha movement has to also go to its challenges. The Kaikei is Nirodha movement. Nirodha movement, however, in the early stage in your personality, Nirodha movement creates a sense of turmoil. And it also creates a form of contradiction between bhakti and jnana. Either one says, I'll simply follow bhakti, no jnana. But both movements must become blended. If bhakti does not permit jnana, then bhakti is immature. If jnana does not express through bhakti, then jnana is immature. Bhakti and jnana together, they bring about perfection of your spiritual movement. But at this stage, Ramayana presents all the stages of spiritual movement. It's not a history that somewhere it happened, but a history that is going to happen in every soul. The entire Ramayana, from beginning to end, applies to every individual. Rama potential is your soul, and your life is Rama's story. And 4 aspects of your movement. Karma yoga is Shatrughna. Bhakti yoga is Bharata. Dhyana yoga is Lakshmana. Jnana yoga is Rama. All these 4 are operating. But in the beginning stage, they are in a state of disintegration. Each stage has to follow its challenges. And all those are brought into a profound artistic story. So in the early stage, the idea of vairagya, people who are interested in bhoga and suddenly they hear in the satsang, sarvam dukham vivekira, all this painful for one. It's hard to handle. When it's hard to handle, then you begin to use insulting words for those who say it. Sarvadukha. Now, therefore, in the storyline, Kaikeyi is now receiving scolding words from all people around. They are all using abusive words, shouting at Kaikeyi for her perverted action of sending Rama, Lakshmana, Sita into the forest. And according to the Nayan bihin kinha jag jehi, as if Kaikeyi deprived the world of vision. Your eyes see so many wonderful things in the world. And Kaikeyi movement, all that you see, what lies before your eyes? Lies. So you turned people into blind state. What type of teaching is that? तब वशिष्ठ मुनि समय सम कही अनेक इतिहास शोक निवारे सबहि कर निज विज्ञान प्रकाश. Sage Vasishtha at this occasion presented satsanga, telling stories from itihasas, Puranas, Vedic literature. And of course, Yoga Vasishtha is well known for his Yoga Vasishtha. So, he is a big storyteller. Stories of great wisdom. And he put a balm on their suffering heart. By that, again, you are getting the moral. If grief is being experienced by people, and they are always being experienced, you don't have to wait when the grief is being experienced. The world is always full of grief. What's the remedy? Bring Yoga Vasishtha. Vasishtha's wisdom. Satsanga is always the remedy for suffering humanity. तेल नाव भरी निप तनु राखा, दूत बोलाई बहुरी बास भाषा, धावहु बेगी भरत पहीं जाहु, निप सुधि कतहु कहु जनि काहु. Sage Vasishtha instructed people to bring a whole boat full of oil. In that the body of King Dasharatha was placed with the intention of allowing the body to receive proper ritual, death ritual. And that would be possible through Bharata, because Rama is not there. And Vasishtha sent messengers to go to Bharata. Bharata during this time, was in the house in Afghan, according to the historical way, Afghanistan, Kaikai Desh. That was the place of Kaikai's parents. Mother and father of Kaikai lived in Kaikai Desh, and there Bharata was. Etanah kahehu Bharata san bhai jai, Guru bolai patayeu do bhai. And the messenger was told that he should not say any details of that Rama, etc. have gone to forest, but simply one order that Guru Vasishtha has instructed you to come to Ayodhya. Receiving this command from Sage Vasishtha, messenger ran with great speed. The speed with which they ran put to shame even the best of horses. It's all allegorical. Because this was not a horse race. It was a race in a deeper level of your personality. Anarathu avadha arambheu jabte kusagalu bhohi bharata kahun tabte. Following the storyline, since all this event has started in Ayodhya, Rama is moving away to forest, all people grieving with the death of Dasharatha. During this time, Bharata had no information, no news. Those days they didn't have the computers. Joking. But Bharata was internally sensitive, and he began to experience ominous signs. Something has gone wrong. देखहि राति भयानक सपना, जागी करहि कटु कोटि कल्पना. His dreams were ominous dreams. And when he woke up from terrible dreams, he went on keeping his mind involved in countless worries, imagining what has happened. Viprajavai dehi dinadana, Shivabhishek karahi vidhinana. And to prevent and reduce the impact of negative happenings, He fed Brahmins, did much of charitable activities, and performs a special worship of Lord Shiva, as well as he enshrined his heart, the temple of his heart, with Lord Shiva, and offered prayers that may his parents, his near and dear ones, his brothers, may all be safe. यही विधि सोचत भरत मन, धावन पहुँचे आई, गुरु अनुशासन श्रवण सुनि, चले गणेश मनाई. While Bharata was involved with this type of experience of ominous feeling within his heart, the messenger came and, presenting the story in short, he received the permission of the Guru of the Kakaya Desh that he must go immediately. And he commenced his project of going to Ayodhya, first having invoked Lord Ganesha. He did Sri Ganesh movement. You always understand. You can do two types of movement, Arambha or Sri Ganesh. Move Sri Ganesh, it will give you real progress. Your life will turn towards its purpose, liberation. Otherwise, Arambha, Arambha term, to begin for focus stage, just begin with the idea how enjoyable your project will be. Only enjoyment is your goal. But Ganesha, enjoyment of a kind, qualitative happiness and success. So two types of beginning is there that has to be understood. How do you commence a project? यही विधि सोचत भरत मन, धावन पहुँचे आई, गुरु अनुशासन श्रवण सुनि, चले गणेश मनाई. चले समीर बेर है हाके, नाघत सरित शैल बन बांके. And he was led by chariot, driven by horses. And this is a description of his journey. He crossed over mountains, rivers, forests. हृदय सोच बर कहु न कछु न सुहाई, अस जानहि जिय जाऊं उड़ाई. In his heart there was such suspense. What has happened? That nothing of this whole trip was enjoyable. In other words, his mind was not going after enjoying every trip, looking at everything in the pathway. Rather, in his heart was the aspiration. Why have to travel all that? Isn't there a possibility just to fly? Just giving you color of literature. एक निमेष बरस समझाई, यही विधि भरत नगर नियराई. And every moment to him looks like as if he has waited for a whole year. You are being given a simple way to understand. Time is not a reality. How you perceive time depends upon your mind. If your mind is full of sattva, time flies. You do amazing activity and you blame the sun for setting quickly. You want your day to be longer. On the other hand, your mind is full of stress in expectation. Within 1 hour you have suffered. Experience of waiting for 6 hours, 8 hours. So time itself is not the reality. And best of experience you have during the day and night is when you are timeless in deep sleep. So understand time, space, all these are the magic created by your iPad, brain and nervous system. That's ego's pad. असगुन हो ही नगर पैठारा रटहि कुभाति कुखेत karara. And when he entered the city of Ayodhya, he began to notice a lot of ominous signs, such as crow. Crow is considered ominous. Calm. Croaking of the crow. And not only just crow, Karasiyara bolahi pratikula, suni hoi bharatamana shula. Donkeys. Siyar, jackals, including foxes. All these highlighted their presence before Bharata. Here again you have to understand, if mind is agitated, then all that you see in the world is apshakun, negative. Everything that you see turns your mind into more negativity. So you blame the thing that you see. That spoiled your day. Though before your eyes there are all things. On one side there may be a jackal or a fox, but side by side there are a lot of beautiful flowers, beautiful trees, the sky up there, the moon or the sun is there. What happened? Are they ominous? But you don't notice them because your mind has become colored and restricted. Same mind, when you wake up with a joyous karma moving through your mind, all the negatives are there. You don't even see them. And your mind goes after, look at a little bird flying through the sky. Oh, that's reminding of Godward soar, soaring to God. How wonderful. All things that happen, they become sakun. So all depends upon your mental state. Shri Hata Sar Sarita Banabaga Nagaru Visheshu Bhayanak Bhayavanulaga. Not only these ominous creatures appeared before him, but everything that he saw lakes, rivers, forests, wonderful gardens, all without any shobha, without beauty or grace, all ugly. As if ghost has spread across all over and enfolded it, terrorizing. So behind this story, you have to understand you are receiving a certain understanding. Every story has some message for you. How does your mind play? So, therefore, become intent upon working with your mind and enriching it in a spiritual way. Otherwise, your mind goes wild day by day. And that leaves you into a terrible situation. You see a world of grief. Hay gaye, khag mrig hay gaye jahi na joye, Ram viyoga kuroga vigoye. Even birds, animals, horses, elephants, they are all grieving because Rama is not there. They are separated. Of course, Bharata doesn't yet know in the storyline what has happened to Rama. But all that he sees, that all these are suffering. It's the same point being elaborated, that when your mind is in grief, then everything seems touched with something negative. Nagar nari nar nipat dukhari, manahu sabani sab sampati hari. And when he looks at people in the city, no one talks to him, they are all in suspense. Bharata sees them all in a state of suffering, as if they have lost all their money. They have become all bankrupt. Again, your suggestion is, if God doesn't become your goal, you are moving towards bankruptcy of the worst type. Purjan milahi na kahi kachu, gavahi jo harahi jahi, Bharat kushala poochi na sakahi, bhaya vishada manamahi. And people meet Bharata, but they don't say anything. Just simply stay quiet, look at Bharata and just go on. And Bharata doesn't ask because he is under command. Being led by the messenger says that you just go to Guru Vasishtha, he alone will tell you. So don't ask anybody else. And seeing all this, Bharata's mind is filled with fear and a suspenseful state of depression. Haat baat nahi jai nihari, Janupur jaha tishilagi davari. And the pleasant spots of the city, roads, markets, that add to the glory of the city, they all look so terrible, as if whole Ayodhya has been struck with forest fire. Avat sut suni kay nandani, harshi ravi kul jaladuha chandini. But Kaikeyi, hearing that Bharata is coming, she becomes full of delight. And Tulsidas states, Kaikeyi, who was Jalaruha moonlight in relation to lotus. Lotus that blossoms by the sun. Same lotus withers under moonlight. Kaikeyi has become like the moonlight over Suryakul, over the family of Rama. This again is not the real description. This is what is happening. Kaikeyi movement, as I've already explained to you, the Jnana movement. But the same Jnana movement, in order to follow it, you need to face many challenges. Because each time Jnana gives you a higher understanding, your mind has to be shocked. You look at, you are enjoying the world, and then suddenly, all this is Maya. Hardly you are being entertained. Nothing exists. How can that be an interesting teaching? In mature state of development, in immature state of mind, all this creates a distorted vision. But all this is normal, simply implying that's what challenges are in your life. But in spite of all the challenges, the very purpose of your life is to move towards God realization. All these challenges become a part of your movement. They are all necessary, they have purpose. Some challenges you can prevent. Some challenges require your austerity. And when you outwit the challenges, when you emerge free from the challenges, you thank God for giving those challenges. That you have to understand in a mature way. A child grows. From the point of the child, every day is full of challenges. From the parent's point of view, every day is a wonderful. How cute. And with this I will conclude. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarkum Bandhanan Mrityor Mushyamamritat Sarve Bhavantu Sukhina Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kashchid Dukha Bhag Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Om Shri Ramaya Namah Om Namah Shivaya Hari Om Tatsat.